Hello and welcome. We are back in Genesis chapter 17. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the chapter heading. Abram is commanded to be perfect. He will be a father of many nations. His name is changed to Abraham. The Lord covenants to be a God unto Abraham and his seed forever. Also, the Lord gives Abraham the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession. Circumcision becomes a token of the everlasting covenant between God and Abraham. Sarai's name is changed to Sarah. She will bear Isaac, with whom the Lord will establish his covenant. Abraham and the men of his house are circumcised. Okay, we're going to go into verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God, walk before me, and be thou perfect. In verse 2, I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. Verse 3, and Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, 4, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Verse 5, neither shalt thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. Verse 6, and I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make many nations of thee, and kings come out of thee. Verse 7, and I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in the generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. Whew, sorry, that was a wordful, that verse. I'm going to read that verse again, verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in the generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and thy seed after thee. So God is saying, I will establish a covenant between you and me and thy seed, and I will be a God unto thee and thy seed after thee. Verse 8, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all of the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. Verse 9, and God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. Verse 10, This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Verse 11, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. Verse 12, and he that is 8 days old, and he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born into the house or bought with money of a stranger, which is not of thy seed. Verse 13, he that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with money, must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. Verse 14, and the uncircumcised man-child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And verse 15, and God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. So this is interesting, the circumcision thing. I'm not sure. I think I think that God was just trying to preserve Abraham's seed, and all of Abraham's seed was circumcised so that they could be preserved and protected, because you can get bladder infections if you don't properly take care of that genitalia area. Anyways, and verse 16, and I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of peoples shall be of her. Verse 17, then Abraham fell on his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? In verse 18, and Abraham said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And verse 19, and God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish with my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Verse 20, and as for Ishmael I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Verse 21, But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. Verse 22, And he left off talking with him, and the God went up from Abraham. Verse 23, And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and that were bought with money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as God had said unto him. Verse 24, And Abraham was 90 years old and 9, when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Verse 25, And Ishmael his son was 13 years old, when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame, verse 26, In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son. In verse 27, And all the men of his house, born in the house, bought with money of a stranger, were circumcised with him. Sorry, that was also a mouthful verse. We are done with Genesis chapter 17. We're going to head into Genesis chapter 18. That was interesting. I guess I could summarize real quick and just say that God established a covenant with Abraham, and he said that he would cut off any that were uncircumcised among his seed from his covenant, which is interesting. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, but he circumcises, and him and his servants and all the house of Abraham, they get circumcised for the covenant. It's very cool. Anyways, that was Genesis chapter 17. We're going to head into Genesis chapter 18, and I will see you in